Donald and Douglas, the Scottish twin engines, are a pair of strong and competent workers. They are practical, peppery, and proud. They usually work well with any job needed on the Fat Controller's railway, and we're glad to be living there for many years. However, they sometimes long for a little bit of their old home. One morning, the twins were feeling under the weather and wouldn't come out of their shed. The Fat Controller arrived to see what the trouble was. "Now then, what's happened here?" "Donald can't seem to get up enough steam, sir." "Neither can Dougie." "Goodness me! Are you two feeling well?" "Och, no, sir." "Eh, we are feeling homesick." "Homesick, eh? Are you two saying you're missing Scotland?" "'Tis true, sir. We haven't been home for such a long time. We miss it dearly." "Gracious! Whatever can I do?" "Could we go back to Scotland for maybe just a week's holiday, sir?" "I'm sorry, you two. As much as I would have liked to arrange that, but my railway is far too busy and I can't let you both go under any circumstance. Anyway, you two can stay in the shed and rest for the entire morning, but you must shunt trucks in the yard this afternoon. I'll have another engine look after your work. See you later." And the Fat Controller drove away, leaving the twins sadder still. Stanley, who was getting ready for work, overheard the conversation. "You know, you two can always go visit Arlesburgh Castle if you're feeling that homesick." "I wish we could, Stanley, but the castle is closed for redecoration and repairs at the moment." Stanley felt sorry for the Caledonian twins as he went to work. Later, he was taking a goods train to Great Waterton. Along the way, he stopped at a signal. Hiro was there pulling a local train. "Konnichiwa, Stanley. What's wrong?" "It's Donald and Douglas. They're feeling homesick, and I wish there is something I can do to help them, but I don't know how." "I see. I know that feeling too exactly. I am always happy to be a Sodor engine, even though I often miss my island in Japan sometimes, for it was my first home." "So, how do you cope with it, Hiro?" "Well, there are few things I can find that help me remind me of my country without missing it too much, as well as getting to know my new surroundings. Like Henry's Forest, for example. It is always very peaceful and serene, or even the snow and mountains, which I also resonate with." "I bet it sounds nice. But it's a shame really now that winter's come and gone, and even Arlesburgh Castle is closed for a while." "Don't worry. I'm sure Donald and Douglas will find something else they can reminisce from the old days." Later, Stanley pulled into Great Waterton. As he was being uncoupled from the trucks, he heard music. A band was playing in the town nearby. To Stanley, he thought the music sounded lovely, but it was also very bright and very cheerful. And then an idea flew into his smoke box. When he returned to Tidmouth Station, he saw Donald and Douglas shunting trucks, albeit very slowly indeed. The fat controller was watching them from the platform. This won't do at all. I know the twins are unhappy, but what else can I do that would cheer them up? Actually, sir, I think I may have an idea that could help, if it's possible. And Stanley told him about his idea. The fat controller thought it was splendid, and afterwards went inside to call someone on his mobile phone. It's all arranged, Stanley. Tomorrow, you will collect a very special passenger from Brendam Docks. He's a very old friend of mine, and he will be arriving on the ferry. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. The twins are sure to be delighted. Early the next morning, Stanley's fire was lit, and he quickly set off for Brendam Docks. A few hours later, Donald and Douglas are still resting, but are just slowly waking up. Suddenly, they heard a familiar noise. What was that? It sounds like music. It was indeed music. There was Stanley, having just come back from Brendam Docks, and next to him, having just come out of his coach, was a Scottish piper. Okay, it's the sound of bagpipes. It's grand. Hey, we haven't heard that bonny sound since we left Scotland. How magnificent! Stanley smiled broadly, knowing that his idea had worked tremendously, while the twins whistled happily to the cheerful sound of Scottish music and reminiscing the glory days of their old home.